Welcome back, friends. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. Hopefully, you've topped up your caffeine consumption thanks to my wife. I'm once again topped off here. We have a whole afternoon full of fantastic content here. I was just checking the schedule, another 4 hours of amazing presentations. But I'm very excited for the next one because it takes so many of the technologies that we've already talked about here over the last day and a half and puts this into a real world context, solving real world problems. I know one of the feedbacks that we heard from one of the presentations was, how come all these examples are so trivial? And obviously some of that's just a teaching example. Well, here's real world content. So I'm very, very excited to see what Krishna and Shruti have to tell us about how we can actually put all this together and use it to solve real business problems. So folks, take it away.
Thank you. Thank you, Nate. Hi, my name is Shruti Modi, and I lead platform services and infrastructure teams at Penske. Today, Krishna and I will be talking to you about IoT platform implementation of connected trucks at Penske. Krishna?
Yep. Thanks, Shruti. Hi, everyone. This is Krishna Gogineni, Senior Platform Architect at VMware Tanzu. Super excited to be here with you all at Spring One.
So we'll start with a small video about Penske Transportation Solutions. There you go. Krishna, we're not getting volume on this.
No? No? You're not getting volume, Shruti?
I cannot hear it.
Okay. We'll go to the next slide.
Okay, that's fine. So we started Connected Fleet program with the business questions in our mind. How to connect with our entire fleet of trucks in real time to react, respond, and to that we collect this data and use it to fix before the problem occurs. Also, how do we monetize this capability?
Thank you, Shruti. One of the things that we wanted to cover as part of the agenda is that what are the business outcomes that are most important for Penske as part of the Connected Fleet program? And what are the capabilities that they want to put it in the customer hands? Then we're going to look into what is the solution architecture looks like. After that, what is the implementation details from an application standpoint as well as the platform standpoint that we have considered, and what are the challenges that we have faced in the process and how we address them. And we also want to share some platform highlights with you guys so that you can take these learnings and implement in your own organization. And towards this whole conversation, if you have any questions, we are more than happy to answer those questions as part of the Q&A session. With that, Shruti?
Thank you, Krishna. So there were many business outcomes of this program. Connected Fleet onboard technology is a crucial initiative for Penske. It gives complete visibility to our trucks continuously and provides status and their needs. This onboard technology implementation gives tracking, location, performance management solution for our entire transportation systems. In turn, it helps us control cost and optimize our driver performance and also fleet performance. Some of the use cases were like increase driver efficiency, manage miles per second, check the health of the trucks in real time. Our 24/7 road agent uses this data. When a truck breakdowns on a road, and they call our 24/7 agent, our agent already know where the truck is. They also know what's wrong with this truck, and they have a game plan for them already ready. So we use this data also proactively to correct our problems of our trucks and their maintenance. We also use this data for safety and compliances. Fuel text report is one example. We generate that automatically and accurately using this data. We monitor hours of service. That's our safety requirements. We do pre and post trip reports. As you can see, there are many, many business outcomes of this data, which helps us make data-driven decisions. Krishna, you have to add anything?
Yeah, that is a complex set of requirements. Now, when you have to actually solve for all those business requirements, what are the key considerations that we have taken at the starting of the journey in partnership is that from an application standpoint, most of the Spring developers within Penske are very comfortable with leveraging Spring technologies. And then when we wanted to develop these capabilities, one of the main things that we wanted to keep in mind is that we wanted to develop cloud native applications by adhering to those 12-factor application principles in a microservices architectural support, whereas when the code is checked into the source code repository end to end, like, from getting from the source code repository into production has been automated. And at the same time, making sure that the configuration and credentials are managed automatically integrated into this environment. From a platform standpoint, Penske was very particular with making sure that the developers need to have a self-service capability. And when they roll out this platform, it has to be done in a zero downtime fashion while patching this during the business hours. And at the same time, making sure that when the platform is running in the AWS public cloud environment, we maximize the utilization and keep the cost lower from an infrastructure consumption standpoint, while automating the end-to-end rollout of the platform, also using automation so that it stays consistent across the board, while adhering to the security and audit needs that Penske has. One of the main things that I'm very impressed with Penske is that their security and audit requirements are very stringent, and they take them very seriously in implementing anything out of the box. Shruti, you want to talk about the architecture?
Yes. So our IoT architecture. So our truck sends us data continuously into our infrastructure in Tanzu application service platform. We receive and ingest this data in PCF environment using Spring Boot application pollers. We get this data and stream it real time using SCDF and Kafka framework as a real-time streaming platform. This data is now validated and make it ready for our data services. We have various data services which we use for different business use cases. We send it to MySQL tile for small OLTP domain-based design databases. For a real-time use cases, we use Gemfire in-memory cache. That I gave you an example of a 24/7 application, which uses our Gemfire, which for fast retrieval and fast insertion of the data. That is, the application is also hosted in our Tanzu application service platform. We push this data. We also have several geospatial and geotemporal use cases, which we are in the process of implementing into our Postgres environment. For large volume of data and a historical analytic and machine learning kind of use cases, we use features of Greenplum massively parallel databases. Lastly, we also have business users, which we use our microservices framework to connect to our domain-based design and retrieve this data for their needed use cases. We are in the process of implementing observability for this environment. We wanted something which will give us end-to-end observability for every single components, including service components, platform, and also application. And Wavefront Fit because it gives us all the components observability at once. And we'll talk about this in a little bit more detail in next subsequent slides. Lastly, our analytical and platform is built on various data sources, which I've talked about, for based on the use cases. Like, for example, for large volume requirements, we go to MPP. Other stuff for geospatial requirements, we go to Postgres. So all in all, we have a large volume of data with 2 billion pings coming to our way, 850 application hosted into our environment. And this is end-to-end architecture showing different services and platform we have used in our environment. Krishna, do you have to add anything?
Yep. As you can see, the complexity of the end-to-end solution, as you can see, the volume of data is 700 gigs of data that is getting ingested into the connected fleet program. Now, one of the things that I want to talk about is that how does that amount of data gets into the Penske environment, right? For example, the full fleet of trucks are emitting this data in real time. And what Penske does is that it collects all the data in real time, and depending upon the provider, it puts it onto a Kafka topic that is specific to each provider. There are multiple topics for multiple providers. And when you get this data, there are multiple event types that you are ingesting into the platform. For example, as Shruti said, geolocation or fault code, engine diagnostic codes, and any of those things. Once all that event data has been mapped, and then you put it into a provider agnostic topic, from there, you consume the data and apply the business rules that you want to apply within the Penske business use cases that they have. Once the data is normalized, they're all put into the normalized data topic. From there, the data, depending upon the domain, as Shruti has mentioned, for example, remote diagnostics, all the on the edge data caching data goes to Gemfire. For geospatial information goes to Postgres. And for customer data or like device information, all of that is stored in the MySQL database. And every historical data, all data goes to the Greenplum, which is used for real-time analytics. As you can see here, there are like 50 streams that are trying to get this data for the entire fleet of the Penske. Now, one of the things that I want to say is that this looks very complex. Was it easy? No. There were some challenges that we have faced in the process. One of the main thing is that when we started this journey, if we had to implement this data pipeline, there are many ways to skin the cat. So one of the things that Penske wanted to do is that since the Spring skills are already there in the environment, we double down on the usage of Spring Boot, Spring Cloud Services, Spring Cloud Data Flow, so that we could ingest this data pipeline and implementation in a short time. Without Spring Cloud Data Flow, this process would have been really elongated, right? And then when you're talking about 700 gigs of data coming into the system, even if one of those application instances goes down for a brief period, you would have severe backlogs. And what we did is that we leveraged the auto-scaling capability provided by the Tanzu platform out of the box and leveraged the 4 levels of HA capabilities provided by the platform. So even if one of those application instances crashes for whatever reason, God forbid, the platform is going to notify and immediately reinstantiate a new instance, so you don't have to worry about bringing them back up normally or manually. Then with these 50 streams and 850 application instances, the amount of configuration and the number of credentials that you need to manage among these application instances and the backing services is enormous, right? How do you manage that? One thing that we leveraged is that the platform provided CredHub credential management system is something that we leverage. For application credentials, it's the runtime CredHub. For the platform credentials, there is a platform-specific instances so that we comply with the Penske audit and regulatory requirements. And at the same time, Spring Cloud Config Service has been used to integrate with CredHub to manage the credentials as well as configuration in an efficient manner. This is just the tip of the iceberg. There are many more cases. We would be more than happy to share those insights if you come to the Q&A session. Shruti?
Thank you, Krishna. So I'll go over platform highlights. So as a platform provider, we wanted to ensure that our platforms are adding value. We worked in 3 major areas: stability, security, and scalability. This gave us a desirable platform to our customers and developers. And it was a process and journey which we went through. We implemented infrastructure as a code. This helped us to automate and upgrade patching completely. Automation of the platform and a platform infrastructure and making all application help HA helped us quite a bit. Krishna did talk about HA application and scalability. So using this, we made our environment very stable. Some of the achievements we did was 0 downtime upgrades during the business hours. That was a great win, because not only it helped our developers so that we don't have downtimes when we do the upgrades, but it also helped our operators to have work-life balance, because they're able to do all the maintenance during the daytime. We implemented upgrade and patch repave cycles. Through the automation. We also used rollout of the same scripts from within the environments, going from lower environments to the upper environments, using the same scripts so that there is no snowflakes. Now I'll talk about security. Krishna did talk about security, that how we implemented some of those security practices into application. We also use CredUp for our platform security. We integrated SSO integration into our application. With this automation, we were also able to achieve a vulnerability patching cycles. There was one time we got the vulnerability patch the day, and we were able to implement all 3 environments within a day and a half. Automation, automation, automation. That's the key thing which helped us achieve some of these goals which we achieved to make our platform valuable. Also, we ensure that there are all the operating system runtime dependency is part of our automated scripts. So application have them when they need them. Thirdly, I'll talk about scalability. Our program was ramping up very fast. We wanted to make sure the environment is scalable. And we are able to scale this fast, and at the same time, our cost is kept low with the resources. So we were able to achieve that. We were actually able to implement 5 parallel teams in a development environment within minutes. We were able to also make sure that when we are not using the load, we can scale down. So for example, we were when 5 teams moved from development to QA, and we only had 3 teams working parallel at the same time, we were able to scale down our environment. So in turn, we saved the cost. Also, we were able to manage multiple loads. So our trucks send out data, a lot more data during weekdays versus weeknights, and we were able to, using the platform capability, we were able to manage our resources accordingly and save our cost. So this is the platform highlights of some of the work which we put in place, which made our platform stable, secure, and scalable. Krishna?
Yeah. You want to talk about the additional data services automation, Shruti?
Yes, yes. Thank you. So we also wanted to make sure we provide our platform user with add-on services what they needed. Some of the examples of add-on services, there was a requirement of hosting Docker containers into our PCF platform. And both we were able to do that. We were able to host Docker containers, both stateless and stateful. Kafka deployment was done using the Docker container. We were also able to add like service styles like MySQL and Postgres. The key thing about those services and tiles were we were able to implement this with the security and backup and error recovery and platform automation integrated to this all add-on services. We were able to do infrastructure as a service for control plane paving using Terraform. And we were also able to automate our deployment process, which is a huge add-on for all our developers using Concurs. And lastly, I did talk about some of these, services like, we added Postgres. Now, Postgres integration was easily done on our platform using our automation, backup, and error recovery methods. Krishna,
So
do you
one
have
key, one key theme that I've taken from looking at this team doing the rollout of the platform is that automation and automation. Automation is the key ingredient before they embark on any journey. Now, as you guys can see, the complexity of the platform rollout, as well as the complexity of the applications that are ingesting the data and making it available for the business users, the key tenet is observability, making sure that the 3 pillars of the observability metrics, logs, and traces. One of the things that we made sure is that whenever we emit these application-specific custom metrics or out-of-the-box metrics, we wanted to have a vendor-neutral implementation. That is where Spring Boot Actuator with Micrometer implementation has been leveraged to its full potential while integrating and sending the data to the Wavefront observability platform, which is running in the cloud as well. Similarly, when this microservices architecture, the distributed tracing capabilities is also supported out of the box by Wavefront to ingesting to the Wavefront cloud. So this is also being something integrated into the application stack, while all the log aggregation has been integrated with the Elk stack within the platform. And along with that, from a security, stability, and resiliency standpoint, which is what really awesome to see is that they're constantly pushing the envelope in terms of how can we make our security posture stronger and better and more aggressive with every cycle, at the same time making sure that the platform components and application instances are highly available with multi-layer high availability configured at the platform level as well as the application level. So the next area is communities of practice. Shruti, you want to share some more details on this?
Yes, thank you, Krishna. So community of practice, really, really close to my heart. We created this platform from ground up. And creating a platform as a product really made a difference. We have awesome team, and we named our platform as Platform Phoenix. It kind of built a culture and mindset of branding the product and empowering not only our platform engineers, but also developers and also our customers. And we were able to deliver this as a platform as a service. We not only created some of the platform practices, but we built the cultural, we built the architectural standards and templates for common patterns like CRED Hub implementation, SSO enablement, configure servers, configuration servers, HA enablement, and then use this tool, use the tools like Confluence page, Slack channels, demos, to educate our developers and create a real community of practice. And through that, we were able to educate our customers, our stakeholders, and also our developers. And we were able to share and resolve issues, improve skills, and learn from each other's experiences. So this was quite a bit, this was amazing experience to create this product and name it Platform Phoenix. You can see Krishna is wearing that T-shirt. He was part of the team as well. And, we were able to make an impact.
So one of the things that I would add on top of it is, Shruti, like they have a really rigorous process in place for treating the platform as a product. So any capabilities that the development teams are coming and asking, they're all putting to the backlog. Shruti and her team on a weekly basis refine that backlog, prioritize it, making sure that these capabilities are rolled out with a common and a continual communication process that is established between all the stakeholders within the Connected Fleet program. This is really fabulous, fabulous accomplishment that I have seen within Penske environment. With that, I want to summarize, Shruti, being an outside-in perspective. One of the things, if I were to categorize and summarize like the Penske Connected Fleet journey, is that Penske team has maximized and leveraged the Spring ecosystem to the core, be it Spring Boot or Spring Cloud Services or Spring Cloud Dataflow or any other Spring ecosystem components. By making them running on the Tanzu platform, this is what IoT scale stream processing with Penske. Then automation has been the key ingredient of the success. So one thing that I've seen is that it is happening in three major areas. One is from an application standpoint, the CI/CD pipelines have been automated. Every application from source code to production is getting deployed in an automated fashion. And the coolest thing from the platform side that I could say with a lot of pride is that because of my association, the platform rollout upgrade patching is done end-to-end automation. Any new feature that is being added to the platform is being considered from an automation standpoint while leveraging the platform to scale the application instances or the platform component in an automated fashion. And security has been one of the key ingredient and key tenet in everything that Penske teams do it from an application standpoint or the platform standpoint. It has never been an afterthought. It's a key ingredient thought through before actually doing any implementation. And it starts from the top, right? The CIO, Mike Crut, it's near and dear to his heart. He wants security to be as strong and aggressive as possible. And last but not the least, you have created these reusable patterns and the community of practice where if I have to go and implement a new use case and a new application that need to be developed and deployed on the platform, I can go and leverage the patterns that are already defined and created so that your outcomes have been accelerated. That is something that I've been observing in the last 1.5 years. You want to add anything, Shruti?
No, thank you, Krishna. I agree to all the points we have put together there, but I also want to add that it's been a quiet partnership journey for us. development team, our data integration team, our engineering team, and our platform team has been able to use not only use the component which we described in our architecture diagrams, but we also were able to impact a product roadmaps like SCDF, and we were able to impact the feature roadmaps. So from that perspective, I think it's been a very positive journey, and we are able to implement this project successfully. I want to thank you, Krishna, for being good partnership. Um, all right. Lastly, I do want to bring up, please go and visit our website. Now that you have seen we have this exciting technology and exciting environment, it'll be fun to work at Penske. Go visit our job website, which is listed here. And please feel free to come to the Slack channel for any questions you guys have.
I second that. Penske is an exciting place if you want to leverage technology to drive outcomes. Go check it out. Recommend it in a heartbeat. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Krishna Shruti. I really appreciate that. I invite all of you to join the discussion by clicking on that wonderful little link that's right there next to the video, and go ahead and follow us into the Zoom Q&A, where you can continue the conversation with our wonderful presenters. It is time for a break, so get up, stretch your legs, grab your favorite beverage, maybe get some more caffeine, because we still have several hours of excellent presentations awaiting us. And just as a teaser, coming up next, the one and only Josh Long, along with Julian Dubois. So with that, let's take a quick break.